Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi Empe Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi Empe Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi
All along the river, Chelmsford's army lay asleep. Come to crush the children of Mageba, come to exact the realm's price for peace. And in the morning, as they saddled up to ride, their eyes shone with the fire and the steel. The general told them of the task that lay ahead, to bring the people of the sky to heal.
Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi
Mud and sweat on polished leather, warm rain seeping to the bone. They rode through the season's wet weather, straining for a glimpse of the foe. Hopeless battalion, destined to die, broken by the benders of kings. Vainglorious general, Victorian pride, would cost him and 800 men their lives.
Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi
They came to the side of a mountain.
How are you?
Scouts rode out to spy the land.
Yeah, you're firewalking.
Even as the realm soldiers lay resting, Macabe's forces were soon at hand. And by the evening, the vultures were wheeling above the ruins where the fallen lay. An ancient song, as old as the ashes, echoed as Macabe's warriors marched away.
Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi 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 Nansi empieza ubani bema chinja mabobesi
Let's clap it! Let's clap! Let's clap! Let's keep clapping! Okay, 1, 2, and 1. Yeah! I was sitting down on the highest mountain in Africa. And as I looked at this sunrise, I was about to give up. Everything in my body told me not to go on. I couldn't breathe. I was coughing my lungs out. They said I had altitude sickness. And as I was sitting there crying, my good friend sits next to me. And he says to me, Quibus, it's okay. Let's go down. And as I was sitting there to cry, that I came so far, and this is all that I could achieve. And I told him, Will, go and climb this mountain for us. And as he stood up, he looked me in the eyes. He said the following, Quibus, remember why you came to climb this mountain. And he leaves. And as I was sitting there contemplating why I came to the mountain, I remember the journey of starting in front of that mountain, looking up, looking at this crazy heights of a mountain, to think, I'm going to climb that mountain with my crutches. However, every day I kept moving forward one step at a time, getting closer and closer, but every night when I got to the tent, I just wanted to give up. In pain and all of this chaos around me that I internalized, and it became that voices in my head that didn't stop talking. But I didn't give up. I woke up, I put on my armor, my elbow guards, my knee guards, my ankle guards, get my crutches ready, give me my injections, and I get up and I move forward. And I remember as we would walk, especially on the night of the summit, when I was struggling to see, for those who don't know, in South Africa, I know, who's not from South Africa in this room? Can I just see? You probably won't know that we struggle with a lot of load shedding. And so what happens on the mountain, there was darkness, but it was not load shedding. We had to wait for the sun to come up. It's minus 17 degrees Celsius from starting 9 o'clock around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, freezing my ass off, complaining to this chief guide, how far, I can't anymore. And he said, Jacobus, in life there's only one thing that you need to focus on when you can't see the top, when you can't see the end game. He says, use all of the resources you have available to you. And what is that resources you have? He said, you have a headlamp, right? And I looked, I have a headlamp. And he said, look down, and I looked down. And he says, all that you have to focus on to give that next step. And once you've given that next step, you give a what? Another? And you just keep moving forward. See, sometimes our dreams can be so big that it seems so far that all that it takes sometimes is just to look down and give a next step. It's so easy to get lost in the news of what is happening in the world and where South Africa is compared to what is happening in America. And then we start clouding us. What does our future look like? And we start seeing this darkness all around us, this chaos. However, I reminded myself on this journey was that I didn't do it alone. This whole journey, apart from having two people that I had to trust in, one that was walking in front of me and one behind me, that wherever we had to climb the rocks, one would pull me up and the other one will push me up. But then I realized it's not the love of only those two people and with me. It was those that came with me on the journey as well, that were fighting their own battles. But then I also realized it was not just us. It was a support team behind us that made this whole journey possible. And as I stood there and I started thinking about my why, for those who don't know, my why started on this journey was not to come back. I was born as a hemophiliac, and as hemophiliac as a bleeder, it means my blood doesn't clot. They also call it the royal disease. And over the years, because of all of the bleedings, my joints have disintegrated. And as you can see, if you take one of your elbows, just make it as straight as possible. This is how straight my elbows goes. Touch your shoulder. Can't touch my shoulder. Palms down, palms up. This is my palms up. You know, I have all of the excuses not to have gone on this journey. Yet I had all the reasons to go on this journey because I didn't want to come back. What is the name of this conference? To gear up to thrive, we need to know where we're coming from. We need to relook at what is our resources we have available to us to be able to thrive. And once you start getting all of your resources together, your community together, your inner tribe together, and you start building your team, then scaling any mountain is possible. The thing is, to gear up to thrive is one step at a time. I like to say 2025 is 2020. How many of you have set yourself big goals for this year? Right. How many of you believe you can achieve those goals? Right. How many of you are scared of achieving those goals? Okay, at least a few. It's like the metaphor of walking on fire. Because how many of you believe fire burns? Of course, yes. And yet, I do that for a living of walking on fire. Because if you can walk over fire and not get burned, what other beliefs do you keep holding onto and you never question them? And you only never question it because we believe it is true because Kobus, it happened in my past. But what if it will happen? I met someone yesterday, and constantly when I talk about potential and possibility, and then the first thing they say is, what if it doesn't happen? What if this is going to happen? What if? And I said, but it hasn't happened yet. Because here's the next tag phrase that I want you to take with you. Repeat after me, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to achieve what you want to achieve? Are you ready to go and thrive and achieve your goals, whatever it takes? The thing is why I say this is because when I say I will do my best, how many of you use that phrase? How many of you know other people use the words, I will do my best? The thing is they lie to themselves. Because you might think you do your best. However, when you don't achieve it, you can have excuses. You can justify why you don't have it. You can blame someone else why you don't have it. However, if I say whatever it takes, can I have an excuse? Can I blame someone? So can I do whatever it takes? Now, firewalking, some of you might decide today that you will walk over fire, and some of you might not decide to walk over fire, and that's okay. Because we can learn as much as by seeing other people walk on fire as well. My question to you tonight is, what is the fires you need to walk through in the next year to achieve your North Star? What is that moments that you need to push through when there's whole darkness around you and everything tells you can't move forward? But also, who do you need in your team for this next year to thrive? Who do you need to partner up with to thrive in 2025? You have the greatest opportunity over this weekend to build and grow your network. But who are you going to partner up with that is going to exponentially grow your business in the next year? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? I live by this quote, and those who know me have probably heard about this quote. And it's a quote that I follow, and it's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. that says everything starts with a belief. You have to believe that achieving your goal is possible. When I started writing my book, I had to gather people around me to support me to write my book. I had all of the excuses in the world not to do it. I had all the reasons. However, am I going to live by those excuses, or am I going to change that to thrive, to tools to thrive in what I'm doing? And suddenly I started attracting the right people, the right coaches, and the right tribe that challenged me to write my book. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Now let me see how smart you are. As a man thinketh, you read books, eh? As a man thinketh, so is he. Your thoughts then become your words. Life and death is in the power of the... Well done, eh? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Those who love to use it will bear the fruit of it. Because the thing is, your words will then be followed by your actions. And the more you take those actions, it will become your habits. And my coaches like to challenge me when I started this journey is, what is your values? Who in this room knows what is their top 3 values? Do you live by your values? Here's my values. 1 is courage. You have to have courage. You have to be willing to take the risks to get to your destiny. Move forward. So the next one is freedom. I don't want to work for a boss. I want to create freedom. And then the last thing is, well, I wrote a book in my journey. I want to leave a legacy. And the moment I got this values set down, I don't only got challenged if I'm living my values. And in the beginning, I fall over some of those stones, not living my values. And I got tested hard. Face planted on the ground. It's basically that moment sitting on the mountain, looking at the sunrise, feeling like giving up. But the moment I started living towards my values, I started attracting the people in my life and in my business that have similar values. Suddenly, my team grew from 1 person to almost now 10 people in my team in a sense of a year. Suddenly, I started attracting the most amazing clients. And then I give them our price, and then they don't even fight me on my price. How amazing is that? Because we connect on the similar values. My question to you are, if you have beliefs and you doubt yourself about your North Star, your destiny, and your thoughts are worried about what is happening in the US and in Europe and all of this, and what is happening in our country, what is your words like? Tell me, when you are thinking in that way and talking in that way, can you take calculated risks? Or are you too scared to take risks? Who's scared to take risks when you're in a negative space? Am I right? But the thing is, if you are in a positive state and you have the right team and you attract the right clients, then you can take big risks. Am I right? Yes or yes? So it's about moving forward and attracting the right people and taking risks, to have courage. Are we ready to move forward and to climb our mountains, our North Star? Because one moment it's going to change your life forever. Was the moment I want to share with you that changed and made me fall in love with fire. Who knows here knows Tony Robbins? He's the one that made firewalking famous. Got Oprah and more famous people walk on fire. I think we all know Oprah, right? And when I experienced firewalk, I wanted to know where to go study it. Now, to give you an idea, I'm the only master firewalk instructor in Africa. For 4 years, I went to learn about firewalking. But here's the thing is, when I got to the training, I thought I'm just going to learn firewalking. Suddenly there was walking on broken glass. Suddenly there was bending steel with my throat, breaking boards and bricks with my hand. But here's the lesson that I want to take out of this training that I got, that everything happens for a reason. Now, a goal that I set out for me in the beginning of the year was to get up into more TV programs. And so I got invited to be a presenter on a show in South Africa called Stralen. It's an Afrikaans show, and it's about where they make women beautiful, but also give them challenges. Now, even though I'm a master, there's always lessons to learn. And so we get a board, you know those wooden pine boards to break? And so they're recording. And I put my board down. I step forward. Remember always taking that step. I line up. I'm talking to the contestant that had just been on. Remember, I have only 5-10 minutes to prepare that contestant to break the board. Usually, it takes half an hour to an hour, and yes, suddenly his cameras are rolling. You have to be ready. You have to think about everything you say. And here I am. I'm going to break the board as many times I've done it. And I stand in front of that board, and I said, this is how you do it. And I went for it, and it didn't break. And I say to you, see, this is how you do not break a board. You have to go through the board. And the cameras are rolling, and they say, Kobus, you have to move it on. And I say, okay, let's do it again. I want to show you. Pump yourself up. Oh, we scream. So we have sometimes this saying, when I say supercharge, you say yes. Can I say supercharge? Yes. Supercharge? Yes. So I say supercharge? Yes. And here I go, and don't break the board. Now I am getting red in my face. What am I doing? The lady other co-presenter, Angelique, says, at a previous show, we did break the board. So, no, she can do it. She will come up. And she stands in front of the board and says, yes, this is how we do it. We pump and we say, supercharge? Yes. Supercharge? Yes. And we go, and she doesn't break the board. Now, the producer says, Kobus, we have to go on. Let her give a shot. Now she puts the board down. She looks at me and says, can I break this board? I said, yes, you can. I believe in you. But you didn't break it. I says, because it's your board. It's not my board. It's your story. And she says, okay, I'm going to go for it. And now we go and says, supercharge, supercharge, supercharge. Yes. I can't hear supercharge. Yes. And she's pumped up. Cameras are rolling. And inside, I'm like, please, God, please. I'm like, break that board. Here's the thing that I did. I visualized. I saw that board breaking like 100 times. Break, break. And she goes, and she smashed that board into 3 pieces. And I stood back. And at first, I wanted to judge myself, and I wanted to critique myself. How many times are you going to go through that and judge yourself and give yourself criticism? But we never know. Everything happens for a reason. That lady, when she started sharing, said that was her biggest breakthrough in her whole life. It gave her so big self-belief to say that even Kobus can't break it, but I broke my board. She had all of this self-doubt in her life when nobody believed in her. Nobody ever gave her second chances. Being abused, misused. And she says, here was one person that couldn't break the board. It told her, it says, I believe in you. You're going to break that board. And guess what? See? Broke that board. And to tell you how safe firewalking is, when I do once a year a certification training for speakers and coaches, everyone that wants extra tools for their talks, not to just be a speaker, but to give something, an experience for the audience. On the last night, imagine this. Walking 108 times on fire of between 500 to 600 degrees Celsius. Aluminium melts at 250. Any doctors in the room? Okay, nobody. But at 150, you get third-degree burns, and yet we walk on 500 to 600. Because if we can do that, we can do? Can't hear you. I need some voice. If we can do that, we can do? If we can do that, we can do? And to give you an idea, that's 250 meters in total in one night. Some of you have a B word when you think about fire, am I right? But remember, your thoughts become things. So don't change it to a B, change it to a K. Because sometimes we will walk on the fire, and as we know in the veld, when fire comes, it allows that new life can come. And so my question to you tonight, what is those things you are leaving behind so that you can keep moving forward? And then we change our words, that sometimes when we walk over the fire and we're leaving behind, sometimes the fire loves you. And sometimes it just gives you a small kiss. Isn't a kiss a beautiful word? Imagine that you will walk away and know that the fire loves me and energizes me because the fire is the teacher. So what can the fire teach you tonight? One thing is, you are not doing it alone. Look around you. And not everyone might walk, but those who are walking, you have support around you. Look around your table. Wink for them. Give them a wink. Give them a smile. Okay? Because here's my challenge. I want Isaac here to come and teach how are we going to get over that fire. Can we all stand up? Make a little bit of space around your table that you can at least move your feet around. Because the thing is about moving forward. I want you to think before Isaac comes up. I want you to look up. Imagine yourself going to your North Star. What is that North Star? What is that thing that you want to thrive in 2025? That when 2025 is over, you can tick all of those boxes and say, I've made it, no matter the challenge. Because there's no excuses. If my son at 2 years old can walk on fire, you can. Tyrone, we can't see his picture that clearly, but Tyrone, that's also, I don't know if he's part of the PSA anymore, but there he walks with his hands on the fire. Ladies and gentlemen, you're either going to have an excuse not to achieve your goals, or you're going to say, Kobus, who's ready to take that first step? Who's ready? I can't hear. Say yes. Yes. Say yes. Yes. Say yes. Yes. So Isaac is going to take you to do step forward. Isaac. Give Isaac a big round of applause.
How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Am I feeling good?
Yes.
Lovely. We're going to do the step forward. Move forward by stepping forward. So we're going to do this with the campus dance. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's the spirit. So it's about one team, one sound, one band. If it's one company, it's one salary. That's how it's going to be. No, one profit. All right. So your first step, this would be your first step. Are you ready?
Yes.
We're going to move together as one company, one sound, one band. Yebo.
One salary.
One salary. No, one profit. This is your first step. One, two, three, four.
Come on, let's see movement. Come, PSA. Come on, PSA.
Stop it, I like it. Lovely. Now we're gonna move front and back, which is step forward. Step forward. Can I get a hoo-ha? Can I get a hoo-ha? That's the energy. First, gonna be warm first. All right. Then we're gonna just do step forward and come back. That's it. Together as one company. Together as one company. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step forward. Come back. Lovely. Okay, people are still stepping backward. You step forward. Step forward. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Step forward. What's up? Oh, step forward.
Put a little bit of
Everybody, step forward.
Yeah, shake that
Everybody, 1, 2, 3, and stop. Piece of cake, you know? Yeah. Piece of cake. Can I get a hoo-ha? Hoo-ha. Can I get a hoo-ha? Hoo-ha. I think we still need to,
It's been a long day.
Yeah, it's been a long day. All right, now we're going to do the transformer. When I say transform, you say yes. When I say supercharge, you say yes. Transform! Yes! Supercharged? Yes! Supercharged? Yes! Yes, that's the energy. It's all about energy at the end of the day. Your energy, my energy, we give and take. That's how we build it up. Yeah, all right. Step forward. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Step forward. Everybody, step forward. Sing along with me. Step forward. I can't hear you. Step forward.
Are you ready to run?
Step forward.
Let's get it up. Run.
Piece of cake. Now we just gonna add the hands. Just the hands. That's the finale. Promise you, we are done. Just the hands. Just to get the blood flowing. You gotta be warm. Everything to flow. Yeah. So now you're gonna just add only the sizosebenza, meaning we are here to work on Svelgiso, Riashuma. So can we try that together as one team? 1, 2, let me count as one team. And one team. Sizosebenza. Here to work. Yeah, one team. Very strong. It's okay. Thank you. Wow, we are all. Then the last one. The last one, you're just gonna shake. You're gonna go down. So you're just gonna go 1, 2, oh, no. You're just gonna go round. Let's try it together as one team. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no. Alright, guys. Guys, we're not going front. No, please. Alright, we're gonna try it again. From the top part, we're gonna start with the song Shosholoza. We all know Shosholoza. Yeah, Shosholoza. They were singing that song Shosholoza. Me and you together, we can do it. Stepping forward as a choo-choo train. Deep on the bed of the earth as they were dreaming that mighty shiny basic stone. So they were singing using the stepping, clapping, drilling for those minerals, gold and diamond. Can I get a hoo-ha? Hoo-ha! Transform! Yes! Transform? Yes! Supercharge? Yes! Alright, you're gonna try to Shosholoza. Transforming everything. It's new life. Yes, I'm gonna change everything. Alright, are you ready? Yeah!
Has anyone here have walked on fire before with me? Like I know there's a few hands before. And the rest, anyone else that have walked on fire before? There's one, okay. Who hasn't walked on fire before? Okay, I love you. You're my fire virgins, by the way. So you have the opportunity to lose it to my fire tonight. I got here to the venue today and they say, Kobus, it's raining. Do you have a plan B? Is Joanita in the room? She just left. She said to me, Kobus, looks like we're not going to have a firewalk. I said to her, we do one thing. We don't have plan Bs. We do. So when you have to thrive in 2025, you will do. So in 2017, everyone says to me, Kobus, when I grew up, you will not be able to play rap B. And I know I can. but my body doesn't allow it. Now, most people will say, give up on your dreams, Kobus, go for something else. But the thing is, what I want you to say is, sometimes our dreams don't come the way we want it. Because the thing is, I still had my dream come true, just in a different way. The world put me on a different path. So in 2017, I was called up to work with a team called the Southern Kings. And they adopted the phrase, whatever it takes. Now, for those who are not South African, needs to understand they were the worst of the worst. The most that they can win in a season was 2. The players believed they weren't even number 10 best in South Africa because none of the other unions wanted them. But when they started believing in themselves, and when they started running out on the field with the words, whatever it takes, with Coles, they started winning games. They started winning the Bulls. Any Bulls fans here from South Africa? Any Bulls? Any Sharks fans, by the way? Oh, they won the Sharks as well. There's 2 games they lost with 1 point in the last minute, and they were so close. If they won those games, they would have been in the quarterfinals. That's how good they were that year. However, there was one person that I met that year. He was 25 years old, believed no family, hardly any friends. Nobody ever wanted to give him a chance. He thought he was at his end. Because the thing is, the Southern Kings was about to be thrown out of the competition because of change. They were joining South Africa was joining the UK, European leagues and stuff. And I said to him, what is your North Star? He said, Kobus, one thing that I can achieve is to be playing for the Springboks. But how am I going to do that? And like Isaac said, it's about step forward. I said to get that goal and adopt the phrase, whatever it takes. Be the one that works the hardest. That when you're on the field, play the hardest. And he got seen and he became a Springbok. He became so good in the few years that he played that he became the 3rd highest try scorer in the history of South Africa. Anyone wants to guess who's that? Makozolo Mampimpi. If you go Google Makozolo Mampimpi tries, that red armband that you have, after 2017 that happened, he still wears this till today. When it breaks, he will phone me and says, Kobus, can I have a few more of those bands? If you go on his Instagram, you will see photos and videos of him wearing this because he has the philosophy. Another one that was whatever it takes is this friend of mine. He's 52 years old. He races Lamborghinis. He's just doing it for a hobby. But I say, we need to inspire your team. He says, Kobus, how am I going to do that? I say, let's go win the championship. What do you think he said? He says, Kobus, I'm 52. I'm racing against people half my age with better sight. You know all those reasons we give. Kobus, I'm too old. I don't think you're ever too old. It's just as you believe you're old. And so we went on this journey of finding a North Star. What's the steps we needed to take? So I said, let's go check your eyes. Okay, now you get contact lenses. Great. Next one, you need to improve your speed. So because you're young, right? So let's increase your speed. And he started increasing his speed and he started racing and the season happens. And his first, second, third, and 1 or 2 did not finish. Comes to the last race of the season. It's between him and 2 Ferraris. Whoever wins the championship. And as we got to the last lap, he phones on the radio. He's placed 3rd. He says, Kobus, great season. Thank you for believing in me. And I say to him, look up. And he looks up. And we as a team put that up there that says, the race is not over yet. Ladies and gentlemen, when you times, and this is the last ingredient for tonight, is to walk by faith. Is to know that if you've done whatever it takes, then you have to have faith that everything will fall into the right places at the right time. Because the thing is, on the last lap, both the Ferraris ran out of petrol. And he won the championship. As we're going to take your journey tonight, for those who's going to walk on fire and for those who's not, Just know that one step at a time, with the right tribe and the right family and the right belief and attitude, you will get to the top. Some of you will get further than the top. I never got to the highest part. I got to Stella Point at around 12 o'clock. I started at 9 o'clock. I was there at 12 o'clock. Anyone here that have climbed Kilimanjaro before? No one? Anyone that wants to? Please go. It's life transformational. You will be reborn and come back as a new person, because when I came back, all the small lessons I've shared with you was ready to be applied so that I could thrive. Suddenly, in a few months after that, started traveling the world and sharing my story. So let's go and climb your mountain. Sometimes it's not about reaching the top. It's like I wanted to play rugby. No, I got to work with professional sports people. Some of them became world champions. It's about the journey. Tonight is about the journey of experiencing something, not only for yourself, but for those around us, about walking on fire. Now, let's take in a deep breath and breathe out. I want you to quickly close your eyes. I want you to center yourself in this moment, become present in this moment. As you stand there, I want you to reflect on your past, of what is all of the great lessons you've learned that got you to where you are now. And as you think about it, just bring them up in your mind. What you've conquered, fears that you've overcome. Just bring them up. Just remind yourself about your great victories of your past. And when you do this, just breathe them in one by one. Make them part of every cell of your body. And when you do that, you breathe in and you breathe out. And while we're there, I want you to become back in the present. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, look towards the future. End of 2025. The year to thrive. As you look towards your future, what is those goals that you want to achieve? What do you want to thrive in? What do you want to celebrate by the end of the year? When you look back to this year, start breathing that in. See those successes, see those celebrations, because it's just around the corner. Breathe that in as if it is already part of you. Just breathe it in and make it part of you. And as you start breathing it in, stand as a person that already has that. Breathe with that confidence as if you already have that. Stand in that self-belief, that self-confidence while you're breathing that in. And breathe out. And as you are standing there with your mind's eye, remember you're going to stand in front of that fire like that, and you're going to look towards your future. And as you start looking towards your future, I'm going to say supercharge, and you're going to say yes. And when you say yes, we're going to say 4 times ice cold, and you're going to see yourself walking over that fire with your eyes closed. And then you're going to get to the other side, and you're going to see yourself celebrate. Taking a deep breath. 3, 2, 1. Supercharge! Yes! Supercharge! Yes! Supercharge! Yes! 4 times after me. Repeat. Ice cold. Ice cold. Ice cold. Ice cold. Ice cold. You get to the other side. 3, 2, 1. Celebrate! Yes! Yes! That is how easy it is to walk on fire. So let's take in a deep breath. Supercharge? Yes! Supercharge? Yes! So ladies and gentlemen, please follow me. I will go out and follow me. Let's go towards, bring your shoes with you.